Hey guys, it is Kristen. I am here this Sunday coming to you live from the Hot Mess Express. I literally just rolled out of yoga and meditation. I need to jump in the shower. I've got about a gazillion things to get done today, but I wanted to make sure that I'm staying consistent and being here with you every Sunday like I promised. So this is me showing up today. And I am here to talk to you about a little thing that I have been recently calling the elimination diet of the last 2 years plus. So, for me personally, I have in just the last, well, really the last 4 years for me since 2018, but I know in 2020 and 2021 and now into 2022, a lot more of you have been kind of feeling this pressure, where the things that we thought were just normal, things that we kind of took for granted a little bit, were suddenly kind of taken away from us or removed from our life, right? Like, excuse me. So an elimination diet, let me start there. An elimination diet is a diet where you have something that's agitating your system, but you're not sure what it is. So one by one, you remove things from your diet, like gluten or dairy or whatever, in order to figure out what the culprit is that's aggravating your system, right? So in life, that kind of looks like things being removed from your life one by one: jobs, relationships, places that you've lived, friendships, family relationships, all kinds of it can be anything really. But those things being one by one removed from your life, and then essentially what you're left with is like a baseline, and your life has been kind of simplified, purified, if you will, and you now know what over the last few years has been really agitating your system, or what's important to you, essentially, is kind of what it goes back to in life. So for me personally, I have, in the last 4 years, I quit a full-time job. I started a freelancing gig that took me overseas, and then that didn't last very long, so lost that, if you will. Then I came back and kind of floundered. Then I started freelancing full time as a writer and editor. And then that quickly morphed into needing help. I was so busy, I needed to hire people. So that morphed into owning my own business, starting an agency. And then, so I've lost a relation. There was a significant relationship that I lost that kind of kicked off this whole thing. And then from there, it was the job, and then it was places that I've lived, and I've actually moved. I counted, guys, I'm almost embarrassed to tell you this, but I counted the times that I've moved just in the last 4 years, since January of 2018, actually since May of 2018. I'm at 10 times. I have moved 10 times in the last 4 years. So I'm kind of like the queen of change, the queen of adaptability. I mean, I'm good at it, you guys. Like, that's like one of my skill sets is being adaptable to change. So anyway, that was kind of a tangent, but the whole point is to say that over the last few years, things have been falling away from us. Our sense of normalcy, our going into the office every day, our going to the grocery store without any kind of concerns or worries or thoughts about anything really, other than getting groceries and wherever in the heck our shopping list went. So our whole lives have kind of been, turned upside down. Things have fallen away. We've lost people. We've lost our social time. So we've probably lost friendships and relationships too. I know some of mine have kind of fallen by the wayside, not by any sense of malice or, anything like that, but it's just the natural evolution of things. Like, things have to fall away in order to, and this is the good part, in order to make space for things that could be even better for us, right? So for me personally, having I gave up. I quit my full-time job, which then gave me the space to travel and, do this freelance thing, which then turned into owning my own business, and which has sustained me over the last 4 years without having a full-time role. So that one decision to quit my job, to remove that job from my experience, really like incredibly enhanced my life. So I eliminated my job, but I enhanced my life tenfold by just giving myself the freedom of movement. I can live anywhere. I can, I have time to do pretty much anything I want. I'm kind of the master of my schedule now, which is a beautifully brilliant thing. And it's given me back a lot of freedom. So even though a lot of freedoms have been taken away over the last 2 years specifically, like our freedom to travel, my freedom to travel internationally specifically, I know between I think September of 2016 and September of 2018, I visited at least 8 countries. So I used to travel a lot and international travel, and I have not been able to do that over the last 2 years. But in its place, I have built a really strong home practice of yoga, meditation, introspection, journaling, those types of things. And so instead of exploring outwardly in the world, the last couple of years, I've really been diving inward and exploring inside. So it all goes back to eliminating things. Sometimes there's so much chaos in the world around us, and there's so much chaos just in our lives. It can be the kids vying for attention, or the house needing repairs, or, just life stuff, the laundry, the dishes, the things that never end, right? So all of that chaos, all of those things pull our attention away from other things that we might want to say yes to instead. So the chaos divides our attention, but when we remove that stimulus or that stigma, not stigma, that's the wrong word. When we remove that stimulus, that extra stimulus from chaos, we tend to find space and peacefulness and stillness. And in that space, then we can create things more intentionally. So instead of just paying attention and being reactive and, responding to all the things going on around us all the time and really being, like I said, reactive, we can then start to take a step back and say, you know what, I'm going to go take 10 minutes in my room and I'm just going to sit there and breathe. It's really simple, but in that 10 minutes, you can come up with all kinds of stuff. You can, create your next novel idea or whatever, or you can just create a little space for yourself to breathe, which is also really important. So for me, over the last, like I said, 4 years really, but the last 2 years, it's really it's really simplified. It's the elimination diet that I've been on has really shown me what was important, and that's the benefit of having things fall away out of our lives, whether we want them to go or not, whether we're ready for them to leave or not. When things fall away, we automatically have more space, and in that space, then we can create more intentional things, relationships, homes, jobs, work. And so that's the benefit of things falling away. When things fall away, it's not always the end of the world. Sometimes it's just the beginning. Until next Sunday.